You've been told quantum manifestation is about attracting what you want. But what if that's only a fragment of the truth? The real story is far bigger and far more powerful. Right now, you're living inside a reality that's far more intricate, far more intelligent than any vision board or daily affirmation could fully capture. And yet, you've been participating in its creation from the moment you were born, not just with your thoughts, but with your emotions, your presence, and the subtle patterns of your awareness. What most people call manifestation is like looking at the surface of the ocean and assuming you understand the depths. The surface is exciting. It moves, it changes, it reflects light. But beneath that surface is an entire living system, teeming with currents, layers and hidden forces you never see unless you dive in. That's where the real power is. Quantum manifestation is not simply think it and it will happen. It's a dynamic conversation between you and a living, intelligent field of possibilities. Every moment, you're sending signals, some conscious, some unconscious, into that field, and it's responding, weaving those signals into the unfolding events of your life. What if the universe is already responding to you in ways you haven't noticed? That feeling you get when you think of someone, and they call you, that sudden perfect solution that appears just when you've given up searching. These aren't accidents. They are signs of a deeper dialogue at play. Science calls it the quantum field, an invisible ocean of potential, where all possibilities exist simultaneously until they're observed or influenced. Spiritual traditions have called it by many names: the Tao, the Akashic field, the divine mind. No matter what you call it, you are immersed in it, shaping it, and being shaped by it in return. But here's the part that changes everything. Manifestation doesn't only happen on a personal level. Yes, your desires, intentions, and emotions matter. But they are not the only currents moving through the field. There are collective intentions, shared patterns of thought and feeling that entire groups of people emit. And there are universal currents, vast organizing forces that guide the evolution of life itself. When you limit manifestation to getting what I want, you cut yourself off from the power of those larger currents. You try to row your small boat against a cosmic tide, when you could be aligning your sail with it and traveling farther than you ever imagined. This bigger picture is not about surrendering your desires. It's about expanding them, allowing them to be shaped, refined, and amplified by a field that knows far more than your conscious mind could ever hold. You are not a solitary creator in an empty universe. You are a co-artist, painting reality alongside the most profound intelligence imaginable. This is why some manifestations happen effortlessly, while others seem impossible no matter how hard you focus. It's not that the universe is withholding from you. It's that your signal is either aligned with larger currents, or it's not. The difference is subtle, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. And here's the beautiful truth. Alignment is not about control. It's not about forcing your vision onto the fabric of reality. It's about attunement, learning to feel the currents, to sense where life's energy is flowing, and to merge your intentions with that movement. Imagine a musician joining an orchestra. You don't play over the symphony, you find your place within it. And your note becomes more powerful, because it's carried by the entire composition. That's what true quantum manifestation feels like. You are not manifesting alone, you are harmonizing with the whole. So if you've ever wondered why your manifestations sometimes feel like they're working against you, it's because the real process is bigger than your personal wants. And once you understand this, your ability to create and to live changes completely. To see the whole picture, we must first understand how the mainstream narrative has shaped and limited our thinking. For decades, the idea of manifestation has been packaged, simplified, and sold as if it were a quick formula, a few affirmations, a vision board, and unwavering belief. It's an appealing promise. Think about what you want. Focus on it every day and the universe will deliver. But the truth is, this version is a fragment of the real process. And while it can produce results at times, it often leaves people confused, disappointed, and doubting themselves. Popular books, seminars, and viral videos have turned quantum manifestation into a one-size-fits-all technique, removing the depth, complexity, and sacredness of what it truly is. This oversimplification makes it sound like a vending machine. Insert your intention, press the right buttons, and watch your desires arrive. But life and the universe are far more intricate than that. When manifestation is presented this way, it sets a trap. If something you desire doesn't appear, the blame falls squarely on you. You must not have believed enough, focused enough, or raised your vibration enough. This belief quietly feeds guilt and self-doubt. You start to wonder if you're broken, if you're not spiritual enough, if you somehow don't deserve what you want. But here's the deeper truth. Sometimes your desires don't materialize because they're out of sync with larger patterns moving through the field. Sometimes life is guiding you toward an outcome you didn't see coming, one that's far better for your growth and alignment. The idea that you alone can bend the universe entirely to your personal will ignores the vast intelligence and interconnected nature of reality. Oversimplified manifestation teachings also ignore the role of the unconscious mind. You might set a clear intention consciously, but beneath the surface, years of conditioning, fear, and unresolved patterns are sending a very different signal into the quantum field. It's like trying to broadcast a song on one frequency while static from another station keeps interfering. Without addressing these deeper patterns, your results will always be inconsistent. Have you ever followed all the steps, written down your goal, visualized it every day, repeated your affirmations, yet nothing happened? That's not because the universe wasn't listening. It's because manifestation isn't a mechanical transaction. It's a living relationship between your inner state, your conscious focus, your unconscious patterns, the collective field, and universal intelligence. Leave any part of that equation out, and the process becomes unreliable. Another reason this oversimplification is harmful is that it disconnects people from the deeper purpose of manifestation. When the focus is only on getting things, a car, a job, a relationship, the process stays trapped at the surface level. True quantum manifestation is about evolution, alignment, and becoming more of who you are meant to be. Material outcomes can be part of that, but they're not the ultimate point. The commercialization of manifestation has also created a kind of spiritual consumerism. People jump from one method to the next, searching for the perfect technique that will finally work. This keeps the mind chasing and comparing instead of actually deepening into the practices that create real change. Presence, coherence, and alignment with life's greater flow. And yet, this misunderstanding is not your fault. It's the result of a culture that prefers quick promises over deep truth, catchy slogans over nuanced reality. It's easier to sell a simple formula than it is to teach someone how to sense the subtle currents of the quantum field. But once you understand the deeper layers, you're no longer at the mercy of incomplete teachings. The good news is, you can relearn manifestation in a way that is both scientifically grounded and spiritually expansive. You can move beyond guilt and self-blame, beyond the frustration of techniques that sometimes work and sometimes don't. You can step into a way of creating that honors both your personal desires and the greater intelligence of the universe. Because when you stop treating manifestation as a trick to get what you want, and start treating it as a relationship with reality itself, everything changes. You shift from pushing to aligning, from forcing to flowing, from wishing to knowing, and in that space your life begins to unfold in ways no checklist could have predicted. This is where science offers clues that unlock a much larger truth. To understand the true mechanics of manifestation, we have to step into the territory where science and spirituality meet, into the quantum realm, where the very fabric of reality behaves in ways that defy ordinary logic. Here, everything you see, touch, and experience originates not from solid matter, but from invisible fields of energy and information. Physicists call it the quantum field, a vast ocean of potential, where all possibilities exist simultaneously, until they are influenced or observed. In this field, particles do not have fixed positions or forms. They exist as waves of probability, each representing a different potential reality. When a measurement is made, or when an observation occurs, the wave collapses into a single outcome. This is known as the observer effect. And it's here that your consciousness enters the equation. You are not just a passive observer in this process. You are an active participant. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every intention you hold sends a signal into the quantum field. This isn't metaphor. Your brain and heart generate measurable electromagnetic fields, and these fields interact with the energetic environment around you. Your inner state is continuously broadcasting, like a radio signal, influencing the probabilities that are most likely to manifest in your physical reality. Think of reality as an infinite ocean. Each possibility is like a wave on that ocean, moving in all directions. Your consciousness, your focus, your attention acts like a tuning fork, resonating with certain waves more than others. The waves you resonate with are the ones that begin to rise and move toward you, taking shape as the events, people, and circumstances of your life. But this influence isn't just about fleeting thoughts. Random, passing ideas have little power unless they are emotionally charged and consistently held. Emotion is the amplifier. When you feel deeply about something, whether it's joy, fear, gratitude, or worry, that emotional energy strengthens the signal you're sending into the field. This is why unaddressed fears can sometimes manifest just as powerfully as your conscious desire. Every thought, every emotion, every intention sends ripples into the field. These ripples interact not only with your personal reality, but with the larger web of life, the collective field created by all beings. This is why we sometimes see synchronicities on a global scale. Moments when humanity as a whole seems to be moving toward a certain outcome or awakening. Modern neuroscience also supports this idea. The brain's neural networks adapt to repeated patterns of thought and feeling, strengthening certain connections and weakening others. This process, known as neuroplasticity, means that the more you focus on a possibility and emotionally invest in it, the more your brain wires itself to perceive, expect, and act in alignment with that possibility. In turn, your actions and perceptions feed back into the field, reinforcing that probability. To bridge science and spirituality here, imagine your mind and body as both the transmitter and receiver of reality. You're constantly sending signals through your energy field, while also receiving subtle impressions from the field in return. Sometimes these impressions arrive as intuitive nudges, sudden insights, or an inexplicable pull toward a certain choice. These are not random. They are feedback from the quantum field responding to the signals you've been sending. And yet the process is not linear. You can't simply think a reality into existence in isolation from the greater web. The field is a dynamic, interactive environment. Your signal is always meeting and merging with countless other signals. This is why alignment matters so deeply. When your personal energy is coherent, when your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and actions are in harmony, your signal becomes clear, strong, and resonant. Incoherence, on the other hand, scatters your influence and weakens the effect you have on the field. One of the most powerful ways to create coherence is through what scientists call heart-brain alignment, a state where your heart's rhythm and your brain's activity are synchronized. This state produces a smooth, ordered electromagnetic field that extends outward, influencing both your own physiology and the energetic environment around you. Spiritual traditions have taught similar principles for centuries, describing it as living from the heart, radiating love, or dwelling in a state of prayerful gratitude. In practical terms, this means that your power to influence reality grows, not from trying harder but from becoming more internally aligned. When your mind and heart are working together, when your inner state reflects the reality you wish to experience, you naturally attract and stabilize the conditions that match that state. This is the true science of manifestation, not forcing reality to bend, but tuning yourself so reality bends effortlessly around you. It also means that the field is always offering possibilities beyond what you can consciously imagine. Your conscious mind can only hold a limited number of ideas at once, but the field contains infinite potential. By maintaining openness, curiosity, and receptivity, you allow the field to present options you never would have considered. Opportunities, connections, and breakthroughs that feel like miracles, but are simply the natural flow of an intelligent universe responding to your alignment. And yet, even this scientific spiritual fusion only tells part of the story. Because beyond your personal influence, lies a force greater than the sum of all individual intentions. A vast intelligence that shapes reality on scales we can barely comprehend. But there's an even greater force at play, one that moves beyond your individual mind. If the quantum field is the stage upon which all possibilities exist, then universal intelligence is the director, the unseen presence guiding the flow of the entire performance. This is the force that ensures harmony within chaos, order within infinite potential, and meaning within the unfolding of events. It is not separate from you, yet it is far greater than you as an individual. You are a thread in its vast tapestry, and at the same time the tapestry itself. Throughout history, spiritual traditions have tried to name this intelligence. In Taoism, it is the Tao, the way, the unnameable source and flow of all things. In Vedic philosophy, it is Brahman, the infinite consciousness that underlies every form. In Hermetic wisdom, it is the all, the mind from which all creation emerges. Science, too, hints at it through the lens of the unified field theory, a concept suggesting that all forces and particles in the universe are expressions of a single interconnected field of energy and information. You can think of universal intelligence as the organizing principle of existence. It moves galaxies into spirals, rivers into winding paths, and cells into living beings. It is both impersonal and profoundly personal, impersonal in its vast cosmic scale, and personal in the way it seems to respond to your life with perfect timing. It's the current you sometimes feel carrying you forward without effort, the way events align in ways that are too precise to be coincidence. Here's where it shifts everything you've been taught about manifestation. Your desires are not separate from this intelligence. They may feel like they arise within you, but often they are planted there by the larger field as invitations, guiding lights that pull you toward experiences, people and growth you could not have planned on your own. This is why some desires fade once their deeper purpose is fulfilled, and others grow stronger over time. They are part of the universe's own unfolding. What if your desires are the universe's way of guiding you toward its own unfolding? Imagine that every longing, every dream, is a thread that leads you deeper into the grand design. Some threads take you exactly where you expect. Others lead you through detours, challenges, and transformations that prepare you for something greater. This is not the universe denying you. It's the universe shaping you. From a scientific perspective, this can be understood through systems theory. Every system, from the smallest cell to the largest galaxy, seeks balance and coherence. Your life is a subsystem within the greater system of existence. When you try to manifest in ways that are in harmony with the whole, your efforts are supported by the momentum of the entire system. When your manifestation is misaligned with the whole, resistance appears not as punishment, but as redirection. This is why surrender is such a powerful part of manifestation. Not surrender in the sense of giving up, but in releasing the belief that you must control every detail. In the presence of universal intelligence, control becomes unnecessary. Instead, you learn to co-create, to listen, to align your intention with the direction the greater current is already moving. Think of a skilled sailor on the open sea. The sailor does not command the wind or the ocean, but reads them, feeling the subtle changes in air pressure, sensing the shift in waves. With this awareness, they adjust the sail, working with the forces rather than against them. The journey becomes faster, smoother, and far more beautiful than if they tried to force their own path without regard for the sea's flow. When you tune into universal intelligence, your manifestations stop feeling like a struggle. You begin to sense the right moments to act and the right moments to wait. You notice synchronicities that confirm you're on track. You experience an inner peace that comes from knowing you are moving with, rather than against, the fabric of reality. And this intelligence is not something you have to earn or prove yourself worthy of. It is already woven into your being. You experience it in moments of deep stillness, in flashes of inspiration, in those aha moments, when clarity comes out of nowhere. It speaks through your intuition, your body, and even through the events of your life, if you learn to listen. The more you trust it, the more it reveals itself. This trust is not blind faith. but lived experience, noticing again and again how life's timing is perfect, even when it doesn't match your plans. Over time, you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "How is this happening for me?" When you reach this level of awareness, manifestation becomes something more than just attracting specific outcomes. It becomes a relationship, a dance with the intelligence that dreamed the stars into being. Your role shifts from that of a lone creator to that of a conscious participant in a living universe. You realize that your personal growth, your joy and your alignment are not separate from the universe's own expansion. And when you live from this place, you naturally begin to manifest in ways that uplift not just yourself but the world around you. Your intentions carry the weight of universal harmony. Your actions ripple outward in ways you may never see, but which contribute to the coherence of the whole. When you see yourself as part of this intelligence, your role as a creator transforms completely. When you recognize that you are part of a vast intelligent system, the idea of manifestation changes forever. You stop thinking of yourself as a separate force trying to bend reality to your will, and begin to understand yourself as a co-creator, a conscious contributor to the ongoing unfolding of the universe. This role is not about giving up your desires or your individuality. It's about understanding that your personal intentions can be woven into the greater fabric of life, where they are amplified and refined by universal intelligence. When you align your personal signal with the larger current, your manifestations become more fluid, more timely, and more impactful. Think about the times in your life when everything just lined up. You met the right person at the right moment. An opportunity arrived precisely when you were ready for it. These moments didn't happen because you forced them into being. They happened because your inner state, your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs resonated with the frequency of the event. You were in alignment, and the universe responded. This is the essence of co-creation, resonance. In physics, resonance occurs when one vibrating system amplifies another, because they share the same natural frequency. In life, it happens when your energy harmonizes with the energy of a desired outcome. Your role as a co-creator is to cultivate that resonance, to become a living match for the reality you want to experience. But resonance doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's influenced by the collective field, the energetic atmosphere created by the thoughts and emotions of everyone around you. This is why some environments feel inspiring and expansive, while others feel heavy and limiting. As a co-creator, you are both affected by and contributing to this field. When you embody coherence, clarity, and elevated emotion, you uplift the collective frequency, making it easier for similar energies to manifest, not just for you but for others as well. History offers countless examples of this principle. Inventors who tapped into breakthroughs that seemed ahead of their time, artists who created works that shifted cultural consciousness, mystics who lived in such alignment that their very presence inspired transformation in those they met. In each case, their creations were not just personal achievements. They were expressions of the larger intelligence moving through them, made possible because they chose to participate consciously in the dance of creation. Living as a co-creator also means becoming attuned to the feedback you're receiving from the universe. Life is constantly reflecting your inner state back to you. If you encounter resistance, it may be a signal to refine your intention, release limiting beliefs, or align more fully with the greater flow. If doors open easily, it's confirmation that you're moving in harmony with the larger current. This process requires humility and awareness. Humility, because you acknowledge that you are part of something greater than yourself. Awareness, because you remain attentive to the subtle shifts and signs that guide your path. When you bring these qualities together, manifestation stops being a hit-or-miss experiment and becomes a living conversation with the universe. As a co-creator, you also understand that your actions matter. The quantum field responds not just to what you think or feel, but to what you do. Action grounded in alignment is like striking a clear note in a symphony. It reverberates far beyond the moment, influencing outcomes in ways you may never directly witness. This is why embodiment is key. It's not enough to imagine or visualize the reality you want. You must live as if it's already unfolding. Speak, move, and choose in ways that match the version of yourself who already inhabits that reality. The more consistently you embody it, the stronger your resonance becomes. Co-creation is not a rigid process. It's a fluid exchange between your will and the universe's wisdom. Sometimes you'll initiate the movement. Other times you'll respond to it. The magic lies in knowing when to lead and when to follow, when to act and when to allow. This balance transforms manifestation from a struggle into a graceful dance. And the beauty of this role is that it's available to you at any moment. You don't need special training or perfect conditions. You simply need to remember who you truly are. A unique expression of universal intelligence, capable of shaping reality in ways that serve both your path and the greater whole. Now let's make this more than an idea. Let's make it a practice. If you're ready to move from theory into practice, the key is learning how to tune yourself to the larger currents that already exist in the field. You're not creating these currents, they are part of the living flow of universal intelligence. Your role is to align with them, so your personal manifestations are carried forward effortlessly, like a leaf traveling on the surface of a river. The first step is stillness. In a world of constant noise, your inner signal is often drowned out by distractions, worries, and mental clutter. Stillness allows you to quiet the surface turbulence, so you can feel the deeper movement of the field. This doesn't have to be complicated. Even 5 minutes of sitting in silence, focusing on your breath, can begin to shift you from reactivity to receptivity. As you quiet the mind, you become aware of subtle impressions, intuitive nudges, and sensations in the body that are often drowned out in everyday life. The second step is emotional coherence. Science shows that the heart's electromagnetic field changes based on your emotional state, and this field interacts with the quantum field around you. Elevated emotions, gratitude, love, appreciation, produce smooth, harmonious patterns that strengthen your signal. You can create emotional coherence by recalling a memory that fills you with warmth, or by focusing on something in your life you genuinely appreciate. The goal is to generate the feeling now, not wait until your desired manifestation appears. The third step is clarity of intention. The quantum field responds to the frequencies you broadcast, and vague or contradictory intentions send a scattered signal. Be specific about the essence of what you want, not just the form. For example, rather than only asking for a certain job, focus on the feeling of meaningful contribution, creative flow, and financial stability. This essence can manifest in ways you might not expect, often better than your original vision. The fourth step is resonance through embodiment. Alignment is not just mental or emotional, it's behavioral. Act as if your desired reality is already unfolding. If you want to manifest a relationship, embody the openness, confidence, and joy you would feel if it were already here. If you want to manifest abundance, practice generosity and responsible stewardship of the resources you already have. The field responds powerfully to consistent embodiment because it signals that you are ready to receive. The fifth step is openness to feedback. The universe speaks through synchronicity, opportunities, and even challenges. If doors close, it's often a redirection, not a rejection. If unexpected openings appear, explore them. They may be the current leading you exactly where you need to go. The more you remain open and curious, the more the field can guide you. The sixth step is trust in timing. The field operates beyond linear schedules. Seeds planted today may take time to grow, and some manifestations require the coordination of countless variables. When you trust timing, you release the pressure that can constrict your signal and push outcomes away. Trust doesn't mean waiting passively. It means staying aligned, aware, and responsive, while the field organizes the pieces. The final step is contribution. When your manifestations serve not only you but also contribute to the greater whole, they tend to flow more easily. The field is inherently collaborative. By aligning your desires with something that uplifts others, even in small ways, you create resonance with the currents that drive collective evolution. If this resonates, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and imagine what could shift if more people lived this way. The more of us who consciously align with the field, the more the collective frequency rises, making it easier for everyone to create in harmony. This framework is not about forcing outcomes. It's about positioning yourself so that the larger currents of life can carry you. Stillness attunes you. Coherence amplifies you. Clarity directs you. Embodiment grounds you. Feedback guides you. Trust sustains you. And contribution expands you. When these elements work together, manifestation becomes less about trying and more about allowing, less about control and more about connection. But to sustain this, your identity must evolve. True transformation in manifestation begins when you stop treating it as a technique and start living it as an identity. This means seeing yourself not as someone who occasionally uses manifestation, but as a quantum being, a conscious expression of the field itself. When this shift happens, alignment is no longer something you practice only in meditation or journaling sessions. It becomes the way you breathe, speak, and move through the world. Your identity is the foundation of everything you manifest. The beliefs you hold about who you are set the parameters for what you think is possible. If deep down you see yourself as limited, unworthy, or separate from the intelligence of the universe, those beliefs will filter and distort the signal you send into the field. But when you rewire your identity to reflect your true nature, interconnected, limitless, and creative, your signal becomes coherent and powerful. Rewiring identity starts with awareness. Begin noticing the stories you tell yourself every day, especially the subtle, habitual ones. I'm not the kind of person who, or things like that never happen for me. These statements are not facts, they are unconscious programs. The quantum field doesn't respond to who you wish you were. It responds to the identity you consistently embody. To shift this, use intentional self-definition. This is where affirmations become truly powerful. Not as hopeful wishes, but as declarations of who you are now. When you say, "I am not separate from the field, I am the field in motion," you're not trying to convince yourself of something untrue. You're reminding yourself of a fundamental reality that has always been there. Repeating such truths reconditions both your conscious and unconscious mind, aligning them with the greater intelligence you are part of. Neuroscience supports this process. Each time you consciously choose a new identity-aligned thought, you're creating and strengthening neural pathways in your brain. This is neuroplasticity in action. Your brain rewiring itself to match the version of you that you've decided to become. Pair these thoughts with elevated emotions, and you supercharge the process, sending a powerful, coherent signal into the field. Living as a quantum being also means making choices from your future self, not your past self. Ask yourself daily, what would the version of me who is already living my desired reality do right now? Then act accordingly. This closes the gap between who you've been and who you're becoming, making the manifestation of your desires a natural byproduct of your state of being. Your environment plays a significant role in this identity work. Surround yourself with influences, people, ideas, and experiences that reinforce your quantum self. Energy is contagious. An immersion in a coherent, supportive environment strengthens your own alignment. This is why certain communities or spaces feel instantly inspiring. They are broadcasting a frequency that resonates with your higher identity. Another powerful practice is embodying gratitude in advance. Instead of waiting to feel grateful when your manifestation arrives, feel it now, as if it's already part of your life. This creates a feedback loop between your inner state and the quantum field, reinforcing the reality you are aligning with. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes to inhabit that state daily. Consistency is key. Your identity is not rewired in a single breakthrough moment. It's reshaped through daily repetition of thought, emotion, and action. Over time, living as a quantum being becomes second nature, and the old identity that once limited you fades into the background. And here's the beauty. When you live from this place, manifestation stops being something you pursue. It becomes the inevitable expression of who you are. You don't chase outcomes. You embody the state that naturally attracts them. You don't wonder if the field is responding. You know it is, because you feel its movement in every synchronicity, every moment of alignment, every inspired action. I am not separate from the field. I am the field in motion. This truth is not just a phrase. It's a way of being, a lens through which you view and shape your entire reality. When you live this way, your relationship with the universe changes forever. And when you truly live this way, the bigger picture becomes impossible to ignore. When you understand manifestation as more than a personal tool, when you see it as participation in the ongoing creation of the universe, everything about how you live begins to shift. It's no longer about trying to get things to prove your power. It's about realizing you are already woven into the most extraordinary creative process imaginable, and every thought, feeling, and choice is a brushstroke on the canvas of reality. This bigger picture reframes your entire relationship with life. Instead of measuring success only by specific outcomes, you start measuring it by your alignment, your resonance, and your ability to contribute to the harmony of the whole. You stop asking, "How can I make this happen?" and start asking, "How can I work with the current that's already moving?" This question changes your energy immediately, from strain to flow, from doubt to trust, from isolation to connection. Seeing the bigger picture also shifts how you interpret challenges. Setbacks stop feeling like signs of failure and start looking like part of the choreography. You realize that even detours are purposeful, sometimes redirecting you toward outcomes far more aligned than what you originally imagined. Every twist in the path becomes an opportunity to refine your signal and strengthen your coherence. You begin to notice the ripple effects of your energy in ways you never did before. A kind word changes someone's day, and that person carries it forward. An inspired action in your life opens doors for others you may never meet. You understand that manifestation is not limited to your own sphere. It's a contribution to the collective unfolding of reality. In this awareness, you become more intentional, not out of fear but out of love for the interconnectedness of all things. Living from this expanded awareness means you trust the intelligence of the universe deeply. You know that your desires matter, but you also know they are part of a larger symphony. You're willing to let the universe fine-tune your intentions, to adjust the timing, to bring in resources or perspectives you hadn't considered. You realize that what you receive is often more than what you thought you wanted, because it's shaped by a field that holds the whole picture. This way of living brings a profound peace. You stop competing with the universe and start collaborating with it. The anxiety that comes from needing to control every detail dissolves, replaced by a steady confidence that life is unfolding in your favor. Even when you can't see the full design, you become both the creator and the witness, actively shaping your path while being in awe of how it's shaped in return. And the joy of it is that this isn't reserved for rare, mystical moments. You can live this way daily. It's in the small acts of alignment, the quiet choices to stay in coherence, the willingness to listen for the subtle currents instead of forcing the tide. Over time, this becomes your natural state, a life infused with purpose, ease, and a sense of belonging to something infinitely greater. This shift also deepens your sense of responsibility, not as a burden but as a privilege. When you understand that your frequency contributes to the collective field, you become more mindful of what you're broadcasting. You choose to embody gratitude, compassion, and clarity, knowing these qualities ripple outward in ways you can't fully measure. You understand that raising your own vibration is not self-indulgent. It's an act of service to the whole. From this place, you can look at your life and see the evidence everywhere. The conversations that arrive at the perfect time, the opportunities that seem to find you without effort, the challenges that turn into catalysts for growth. You realize you are never waiting for the universe to respond. You are always in the dance, always in the dialogue. This is your invitation to stop trying to control the universe and start creating with it, not as a separate striving individual, but as a conscious expression of the intelligence that spins galaxies and blooms flowers. When you live this way, manifestation is no longer about proving your worth or chasing outcomes. It's about embodying your role in the grand unfolding of existence. You are not here by accident. You are here as part of the design, part of the current, part of the living universe that is constantly becoming. And the moment you claim this truth, you step into the bigger picture, one where your life is both deeply personal and profoundly cosmic.